what they need to do, they know they need to do something. And especially cash-rich companies such as Google, such as Apple, they are continuously acquiring new technologies and new companies. So we do see financial capital flow going towards this area. But as Barış said, in Turkey there is a problem. There is a vicious cycle. You have a couple of investors, a couple of very small venture capital funds, and they try to get the ball rolling, they try to get the ecosystem moving forward. But there are only a few. So what happens? They invest, the company grows, and then it wants to go to a round A, round B, round C, but they can't find new investors. So they have to go back to the first investor. And the first investor is like, I want to see returns. And the company is growing healthily. So there is a need for new Silicon Valleys around the world. Yes. And in Tel Aviv, it's quite successful, but there is a reason for that. In Israel, the military, the private sector, the government, they're all helping the startup nation. They're aware that this is their competitive edge. And they have created strong reforms towards this. You need public policy to support this. This doesn't happen by itself. Plus, there is a cultural issue, a cultural divide, a cultural difference, which is why we need to adjust the Silicon Valley of the West to different cultures across the globe, in Dubai, in Istanbul, in Hong Kong. A Japanese person wouldn't act the same as a person in California. So we have to be sensitive and susceptible towards these quite important nuances. But I also want to say one more thing about money. Always think for yourselves, because I know money is important, but it's not everything, and passion is much more important, as I said previously, which is why always ask yourself, what if money was no object? What if money was no object? What would you do? Because believe me, whatever you want to do, there are other people who are also interested in it. And if you do it well, and if you're passionate about it, then eventually you will make money. It's a byproduct, but it shouldn't be the goal. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. A few words on this, especially on the angel investing and the startup nation. Unfortunately, once this startup and venture capital kicks in, and as you said, round B, round C, and all that starts coming up, in Turkey there is an issue. You need to grow that company to a point where the company at least needs around $10 million. And at the moment, this is the environment in Turkey where the private equity investors kick in at that $10 million. So between, let's say, $1 and $2 million to $10 million levels, there is a shortage of capital. There's a shortage of funding in Turkey where bank finances is usually not enough. And it's such a critical area where friends and families' monies won't be enough. So what happens is these companies, startups who reach to a certain level ends up being acquired by very big companies, and the owners become generally